Amy. Welcome back to my next Q&A. The first question is by G Poo. What are your thoughts on the Chanel boy in the calfskin? Your boy in caviar is beautiful, by the way. And number 2, do you know if Chanel or LV associates get commissions? Okay, first question. I think that the calfskin boy is just as beautiful as the caviar boy. By the way, they're both calfskin because caviar leather is just pebbled calfskin, whereas I'm assuming you're referring, the other one is, you know, the smooth calfskin. They're both as beautiful as lambskin or whatnot. They're all beautiful in my opinion. It just depends on your personal preference and how you like to use your item. I know people in general say that lambskin is a little bit more prone to surface scratches, superficial scratches more easily, more readily, but it's not like it will just, like, you know, fall apart. Same goes with calfskin or caviar, smooth calfskin. I mean, it's just, you know, you just have to take care of your items. Also, the way I look at it is depending on the actual aesthetic of the bag, the combination of hardware and the design and the leather used, even like the texture and the color and all of that all kind of plays a part into the actual bag. Some people will be more attracted to very shiny caviar, shiny hardware. Other people will be more would prefer the more muted leather and the more muted sort of aged hardware. So it really depends, and some people like colorful bags, so they're all great in my opinion. Personally, I am sticking with caviar for now just because I know that I will be careful anyway, but I just want to have like the extra sort of feeling that I can be slightly more carefree, if that makes sense, just so that I don't have to be so paranoid when I use a bag. Because if I'm paranoid, then what is the point, right? If I'm always so scared of using something, then what is the point of owning it? So that's my point of view on it. And lastly, your question about commissions. My SA at LV told me that they don't actually earn commissions per se, but they do sort of have like a system where the more, I suppose, the more sales they have, they of course keep tabs on how, like, the performance of each salesperson, and then at the end of the year they would have different kinds of bonuses. So like they could either get freebies or like free trips and whatever. So like it boils down to your overall performance. So they don't necessarily receive it in a monetary commission, but they still get perks here and there at the end of the year depending on how well you've been doing. JMV0214, does your Speedy have crease marks on it when you bought it, and how long does it take to go away? I want one so bad, but I'm afraid it might not go away. I don't want to buy an expensive bag with crease marks on it. Thanks. So yes, my Speedy does still have creases on where they fold it, and unfortunately they kind of take time to go away depending on how long it's been folded and I guess how compact they've been folding them on. The one that I had still has their crease marks on it. It's very faint, but it's still there, and I guess it will go away with time. And the more you use your bag, the more weight you put in it, the more it pulls sort of like the canvas straight, and the better proper storage that you give it, then the less apparent they will look. But I feel like mine will probably still stay. It's not something that bothers me, to be honest, because the Speedy is not really a structured bag. It's still kind of sag if you don't put any organizer in it, so it does kind of go along with that look. And I think a Speedy is supposed to be a bag that you can use more for travel, therefore the way they fold it is something that you should be able to do when you want to take your bag into travel, in your luggage and whatnot. So I mean, I know that's what they say for the keep-alls. Another thing that I've heard is also that some newer bags come in without being folded. I'm not sure if it's limited to the limited edition ones because they have, you know, silk screen prints on them, but you can definitely look at those, or maybe just try to find the best one in store that has the least amount of creases. Techie Babe, where can you get a made in France version of the Alma BB? Been looking everywhere. It is very, very hard to get made in France LV items in my opinion, because I feel like even if brand new models, because usually the brand new models, their first shipment is usually made in France, but I find that it's not even true anymore, because when I remember very distinctly when the Palace clutch came out and we got the first shipment and we actually had them before Europe did. I think they got released in North America before Europe did. They were all made in the USA, and the way that my essay explained to me is that because the USA has been making the Palace bag, like not the clutch but the actual, you know, the large bag, for so long, that they already know how to make it. So as long as they know how to make something, or as long as they've acquired enough experience to make a certain model of bag, even though they're just similar, not exactly the same one, they will just make it wherever they can. So, you know, as far as getting the Alma BB or any other bag for that matter, eventually they will have more and more made in the USA, just because the demand is so great. They have to cater to a large demand, you know, worldwide. Therefore, I guess it just depends on your luck and whether your SA is patient enough and also willing to help you, you know, find a made in France one whenever they get new ones in. But it is very, very hard, I will just tell you that. Almost impossible. And then if you really want one that is made in France or made in Europe for sure, then your best bet is just to get it outside of North America. So the next question is by Bang Ji. She was wondering which organizer from Clover Sac that I would recommend for the Speedy B25 and the Alma PM, and the answer was I recommended the Emma 22 because I know that they will fit in both bags. Again, I will mention it again, but you can rewatch my Clover Sac review video. The Clover Sac organizers are not made to measure. They are generic sizes, so they will not fit like exactly the bag that you know, whatever bags that you have in mind. They will just be slightly off, having space on the outside. So as long as you don't mind that, that's great. The Emma 22 will be small enough to fit both bags with space on the side for sure, especially with the Speedy 22 because of the, especially with the Speedy 25 with the zipper opening so small. Only the 22 will actually fit, like you will be able to put it inside. Also, I want to mention that if you guys are still wondering about the dimensions, which one to get, their website is actually really good. They, like, each bag, each organizer that you look at, they will list most of the popular bags that are out there that will fit that particular organizer. And even if you don't see the bag that you have in mind, say you have a more generic bag that is not as popular, then the dimensions that they have online are also very accurate, as long as you make sure that those dimensions that they have of the organizer fits inside your bag. Don't compare it to the outside measurement of your bag, you have to compare it to the inside measurement of your bag, so just keep that in mind. Janice Chan, she was wondering if I've had any quality issues with my Epi leather bags and my Emily wallets. So all my Epi, so I have two Epi bags and both of them are Almas. One is a PM and one is a BB. They're both holding up so incredibly well, and I don't wear my Alma PM as much. I only wear it maybe once or twice a year to usually more formal events. However, with my Alma BB, I've worn that on and off quite a bit in the summers usually, and honestly that bag is so durable. I don't have to baby it, and also I feel like whenever someone bumps into me or the bag, I don't see anywhere, like I don't even know where they bumped into. So I think as long as you're not scratching against the wall or, like, you know, deliberately scratching it with your keys and whatnot. It will be so hard wearing and it will be so durable and not show wear very much. The only wear that I see on epi leather is not creasing, but like, you know how like it's very smooth and straight at the beginning, your leather, you know, plane of leather. Well, the leather might, you know, go in a little bit or go out a little bit. Like it might do that kind of thing depending on your content, but it's leather, you know, leather is supposed to stretch out, leather is supposed to, you know, conform to the shape of how you wear it, of your items, whatnot. So it does do that, but you know, that's basically the extent of wear that I see on my bag. As far as my Emily wallet goes, it's, you know, in perfect condition. I can't really tell you very much about wear. Like my button is fine because I always place it, you know, like I said, I don't necessarily baby my things, but I'm still careful. So like I always make a point to face this on like the side of the bag with a cloth or with a microfiber. You know, I make sure that it doesn't like rub against, say, my phone. And so it's been, I don't know, mine is holding up really well. I mean, the only thing that I can tell you is maybe right here. Again, it's glazing. It's right here. I don't even know if you can see it. It just looks like, you know, where the two canvases are, it just looks like it's starting to split. But I think that's a natural phenomenon because I see that on my 6-key holder. It does that where, you know, the back side where you can put a card, it does that. But mine, my 6-key, I've had it for over 3 years and it just stayed that way, and it holds up so well. And I don't know if it's necessarily because their older items are have a little bit better glazing, because my glazing has held up really well. It hasn't chipped or peeled or anything. And like I said, while I'm careful, I don't baby my items. So I've been really happy with my older SLGs, to be honest. Susie, hi Amy, do you know which LV bags or SLGs that have glazing issues to stay away from buying? From what people have reported back to me, I know that some people have been having glazing issues on their Emily wallets or Josephine wallets. Some people have glazing issues on their Mutskat. Some people have, my husband had problems with his multiple wallet, the men's version. So as far as I know, oh, and the 6-key holder, as far as I know, those are the things that have been experiencing glazing problems lately, but I can't say that it will be forever because my SLGs were older and they have no issues at all. So I cannot tell you whether they, you know, when they would have maybe like revamped their glazing or the way they glaze it. I'm not even sure. But if you're really worried and don't want to go through any of these problems, then just basically avoid items that have a lot of glazing, and especially if you think that they will always be constantly rubbing against something, then I would just avoid those. Surprisingly, a lot of people are asking me where I got my organizer inside my trapeze. I think they saw that on my either on my reveal video or on my vlog where I bought my trapeze. But basically it's my Samorga organizer, the one and only one that I have. This is the one that I purchased for my Speedy 25. It does fit inside the trapeze, but I actually don't recommend any organizer in the trapeze, the small size anyway, because it's really easy to find things in it because the opening is so wide once you open the bag. And also I find that the moment you put an organizer in it, there's really just no more space for your things. I just prefer using that bag without any organizer, and actually love using that bag without any organizer. It also makes it less heavy. Audrey Cheng is asking, I'm looking to replace the Pochette Métis in my collection with the Montaigne BB in monogram. Have you heard of any problems with that bag? I haven't heard any problems with the Montaigne BB. It is a very, very cute bag in the monogram or in the in the leather one, the Emprunt leather. I actually really love Emprunt. I highly recommend Emprunt if you can get it. It's so good and it's so hard wearing. As far as the monogram version, I haven't heard any problems so far. Nobody has told me anything about it, and when I looked at the bag myself, I don't see where it can have issues like in terms of the design. So I say go ahead if you like it. I think it's such a cute bag, and it's also very roomy even for such a small size. Video Sabia, she says, how often have you been using your Noe, and how long did you take for the patina to be so beautiful? So I've had my Noe since last year. I cannot remember. It was probably around February or March, I think. So it's only been a little over a year, and yeah, my patina is amazing. Every time I take it out, it's just, I love looking at the patina, and I love smelling it because the vegetable tan leather is so good smelling. It's probably one of my best smelling bags so far still. I don't really use it as often just because it has so much vachetta, and I definitely want to take care of this bag in particular just because I want it to age and look like a really nice vintage vachetta bag. But yeah, it's a great summer bag, like a great bag for a nice hot sunny summer day. Ritsuko, are the Louis Vuitton bought in Canada made in USA? Is it possible to get made in France here? So like I said previously, as long as you're in North America, the likelihood of your bags made in USA is a lot higher because we're so close to the US. There are instances where sometimes the bag could be made in France, just depending on their shipment. So it's really, you know, depends on your luck. But if they've already been making the bag in the US for a long time, such as the Neverfull, the Speedies, the Almas, the Boshamitsus, and the Palace line, if they've already been making those for a while, then the likelihood of you getting made in US, even in Canada, is very high. But yes, there is a chance you might score made in France, but if you do, you better get it right away because it's very rare. Kelly the Rick, I think. I love the Alma BB in Damier Ben, but I already have a Speedy 25 in Damier Ben. Should I get it? It's the same print but also very different shape. The Speedy 25 is more casual. I find it's more on the casual side, but it can also be a little bit dressed up depending on whether you carry it by hand. It is very different in terms of capacity, so like the Alma BB is definitely a lot smaller. I find that it's great for a little bit more formal events. In the perfect world, you would get both because they're so different still. And I think you will love it. So go ahead. I say go ahead if you can afford it. A lot of you are wondering how I'm doing with my boy bag and also wondering if it has held up. Honestly, it's really too soon to tell if it's gonna hold up, you know, because I know a lot of you guys are wondering about the softer caviar leather, whether it's gonna hold up and keep its shape. Of course, right now it's in perfect shape and it has held up, but I've only used it twice, and honestly it's because I haven't really had the opportunity to use it as much as I would like. It is a Chanel bag, and I feel like Chanel bags, it's great to own one or two just to have, especially if you're a bag lover, but I feel like they're not really bags that I would use every day on a daily basis. I would still much rather use my LV bags or my Celine bags on a daily basis. I feel like they're just a little bit more, well, casual first of all, and then also second of all, it's just a little bit more carefree. Lastly, I got my Boshamitsus back. As you all know, I made a review on my process of repairing and, you know, the little stories that I told you guys about. And I don't know if you've seen on my Instagram if you don't follow me there, but I've decided to put a little ribbon on my clasp here So I'm just wrapping it around, making sure that the corner here is wrapped and making sure that I don't obstruct the opening such that every time it rubs here it won't cause as, you know, as hard of a friction. You know, this is a softer friction, I believe, and also every time it gets stuck underneath and gets pulled, depending on when you're using your bag, that it will be a little bit softer, and hoping that that will protect or just be a little bit more gentle on the glazing there. So yeah, I hope that this really does help in the long term. I will monitor it over the summer because I'll be using this bag a lot more over this summer, and then I'll just, you know, take a look at the glazing every time I use it to see if there was any, you know, additional wear. But if it goes well, then I might just buy some ribbons that are gold color so that it would match the hardware a little bit better. And instead of tying it like this, I will probably just, you know, sew it by hand so it looks a little bit cleaner. But so far it's not very obvious just because the color is muted, you know, the pink, the dusty pink color. And when you're wearing it, like when you're wearing it from far, people don't really see. So I know some people have suggested that I tie the bandeau around the handle and then also like all around the flap, but that's not my thing. I don't really like any sort of embellishments in general. The most I will do is maybe put a poof charm. Hope you enjoyed this Q&A. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Amy. I will see you guys next time, and let me know if you have any more questions for next time. Thanks, bye. I was never a really card holder person because I always thought that, what can you put in this? But the more I've changed my collection around and